Welcome everyone to another episode of Around the Block Talk. Today we have with us Mariam. She is the head of marketing and operations at Apex Protocol. So Apex Protocol is a decentralized derivatives protocol, and very happy to have you here today with us, Mariam. We are looking forward to what you have to share with us.
Hi, Pratik. Thank you so much for inviting me to be part of Around the Blog. I'm really excited to be part of your program and also happy to be talking about decentralized finance and decentralized exchanges here with you today.
Thank you, Mariam, for coming on the show. So now, starting with our talk today. Mariam, we would really love to know your background, and it would be great if you introduce yourself to the viewers.
Yeah, absolutely. My name is Mariam. I'm a marketing professional. I've been active in the crypto and blockchain space since 2018. I've experienced designing and implementing marketing and operations strategies for innovative financial instruments, both in corporate and startup ecosystems. Currently, I'm leading marketing and operations at Apex Protocol, which, as you also mentioned, is a decentralized and non-custodial derivatives platform engineered for high-performing precision trades in a DeFi space.
Yeah, thank you, Mariam, for that introduction. So now that your product is in the space of DeFi, we would really love to understand what is DeFi and what does it do for the consumers today.
Sure, sounds good. So both DeFi and CeFi essentially have the same objective and purpose. The main goal of both technologies, or infrastructure, if you will, really is to make trading crypto more mainstream and popular and convenient, providing traders with the state-of-the-art and advanced financial instruments in order to make sure that the trades executed on the platforms are delivering more enhanced experiences. However, the distinction, right? So these solutions that these ecosystems offer and the way they are implemented, right, are quite different from another. For example, when it comes to CeFi, CeFi promises security of funds, custody of assets, and efficient trading opportunities. Most of the time, it is the first stop for those investors who have conventional currency, like fiat currency, who want to start participating in the crypto ecosystem. CeFi also provides high quality customer support service, which could be extremely convenient and advantageous for those traders who are just getting started with the crypto ecosystem and crypto trading. Most popular platforms within the CeFi space are Bybit, Binance, Coinbase, FTX, OKX. On the flip side, we have DeFi, decentralized finance, which is, again, as the name suggests, all about decentralization, about permissionless environment, transparency, trustless, and privacy of the data, right? So it's cutting edge financial technology, which is based on secure distributed ledgers, blockchain and smart contracts, which really removes the control that legacy financial institutions and banks have on money, financial products, and financial services. I would say one of the major distinctions between DeFi and CeFi is the fact that centralized finance is heavily regulated, while exactly the opposite is the case with DeFi. And on another note, with CeFi, the responsibility of safeguarding the assets of the traders and investors is with the exchanges. And then on the flip side, when it comes to DeFi ecosystem, DeFi really allows everything to be executed without the need of a middleman, like need of an intermediary, as the transactions are carried out as a result of smart contracts. So smart contracts are like a digital agreement that are based on specific terms and conditions and are automatically executed when a particular prerequisite or like predetermined provision criteria is met. That being said, in DeFi, participants have full custody of their funds and are really responsible for managing their assets and actions. Additionally, CeFi doesn't provide users with a network that is accessible and available for everyone. Let's say on a centralized infrastructure and centralized exchange, some users may be limited to participate. A centralized exchange may prevent someone to execute a trade, or a centralized exchange may impose some sort of restrictions on some traders who come from different parts of the world. So that is not really the case when it comes to decentralized exchange. There are no regulations. Decentralized exchange and DeFi overall, right? So that some of the benefits are that there are no regulations, no intermediaries, participants have full custody of their funds, and it's accessible and available for everyone, no matter the background or age.
Indeed, that's great to know. How does this entire DeFi revolution, how does that change the financial and economic system that we have today?
Great question. DeFi really represents, as mentioned, this blockchain-based financial services and products, right? That very much so reproduce or emulate, we can say, the legacy financial systems, with one major exception of having no intermediaries, right? So DeFi is this peer-to-peer decentralized system which runs in a permissionless ecosystem on a permissionless blockchain. Another advantage that DeFi gives you is that it's interoperable, right? Which means that the network really allows participants to add more new features by integrating different elements and developing different applications, or so-called decentralized apps, dApps, without permission. With DeFi, there is, as mentioned, no KYC. So there's no your customer identification or paperwork that usually needs to be filled out and submitted for on the centralized counterpart. There is no need for that on the DeFi. Everyone is welcome to participate. Same rules apply to everyone. And I think it won't be an overstatement to say that it's pretty much like a borderless ecosystem, right? And yet, even with less bureaucracy and control, DeFi still manages to provide some levels of security for the participants and the capital that gets injected in the ecosystem. As mentioned, you can access the market from anywhere at any hour, and you maintain this full control over your funds. And it's really up to you what decision you make. You can deploy your capital the way you see most appropriate. So yeah, a couple of things I would say, like no KYC as mentioned. Oops, sorry. You still see my screen, right? I think I was cut off for, sorry, I'm just gonna keep going. Right, accessibility is another advantage that DeFi brings. Lots of people who may not have access to banking resources can now actually lend and borrow. So it has this like open door policy. Like until today, there are around maybe 1 billion adults worldwide who remain to be unbanked. So DeFi is very much so an opportunity. Again, KYC, no paperwork or identification needed. So you can interact with financial services without all these documents. So industry really opens up immense realm of possibilities for emerging economies. Additionally, something that I want to add is that DeFi has made it very simple for its users because the platforms are being open to anyone who wishes to join. But still, I would say that there are some limitations because the users need to have some level of technical understanding in order to dive into DeFi. So while opening a bank account doesn't require any prior knowledge, you just go to the bank and someone will help you out. There are some sort of like foundational material that you need to have covered in order to actually take full advantage of the DeFi ecosystem. I also want to add a couple more things about security and decentralization. When it comes to banks, right, banks can be hacked, but since transactions can be canceled or reversed, this usually only results in the leak of private financial information, which is again quite damaging for those who get affected. However, in DeFi, all this information is already public, given that the transactions are recorded and executed on the public blockchain, right? But generally, such incidents are harmless on a DeFi because the information is pseudonymous. On another note, it needs to be mentioned that with DeFi, there's a thin line between decentralization and security, because if there is an issue and a participant accidentally transfers funds to an incorrect address, there's nobody there. As mentioned, there are no intermediaries there who can freeze those transactions or reverse those transactions or cancel those transactions. So if you actually do transfer your funds to someone else by accident, there's no way to reverse those transactions unless the party who receives the funds voluntarily decides to send it back to you. Additionally, as mentioned, DeFi is based on blockchain technology and smart contracts. So there's always this risk of some bugs in smart contracts and some sort of other issues that could really lead to exploits. So that being said, it's very important for the projects who are participating in the DeFi ecosystem to properly audit their contracts, right? So they have to do an internal audit, and they also have to do an external audit, and really try to be aware of this risk and constantly audit their contract in order to minimize the risk which is usually associated with smart contracts. A couple more things that I want to add about scalability and usability and liquidity when it comes to DeFi and then legacy financial systems. So I would say in terms of scalability, a big challenge for DeFi is education. Again, to make sure that people have sufficient information in order to onboard, right? But again, it's a very new thing. DeFi is a very new thing, and the new educational resources are coming out all the time on a daily basis, which is really great because this really equips the participants with the knowledge that they need to properly participate in the ecosystem. But still, there needs to be some foundational information taught to the participants in order for them to fully take advantage of the ecosystem. When it comes to liquidity, needless to say that the old finance is definitely a winner here. DeFi is a novel concept, so it's not extremely popular outside of the crypto realm for the time being. And then lack of liquidity can, of course, make it harder for users to get a loan or interest in a specific asset. But again, going back to the same argument, that this is a very noble concept, and I'm sure that as the time goes by, it will definitely gain foothold. Finally, one last thing about scalability. Just want to add a little bit of information on that. So congestion and scalability issues of blockchain platforms such as Ethereum is another thing to consider, as it may hinder the use of DeFi due to extremely high gas fees and transaction costs, and then transactions can take some time to process. So there's another thing to kind of think about. However, again, there's so many up and coming projects, like emerging projects, that really try to solve these issues and do so without sacrificing too much of decentralization and security. So I think that there are issues in DeFi ecosystem. However, there's so much that is being done that I'm sure that in no time there will be these issues will be minimized. So as a kind of conclusion, I would say that DeFi has really become the major ecosystem player over the last years, and there is so much more that will be done in the ecosystem moving forward.
Oh, that's great to know. So being a new technology and being a new kind of ecosystem, it has its own challenges, but it has its possibilities in the near future. So also now
Absolutely.
Apex, yeah, certainly. Now Apex being a decentralized derivatives protocol. So we would really love to understand what is a decentralized exchange and how does that work?
Yeah, for sure. Decentralized exchanges. Yeah, I would say decentralized exchange is really the cornerstone of the DeFi, right? So DEX infrastructure represents this peer-to-peer marketplace for traders, investors to trade with crypto in a non-custodial manner. DEX is run without the need of intermediary. and they facilitate the transfer and custody of funds with no middlemen. As such, just like we discussed a bit earlier, DEX is one of such products of this DeFi ecosystem, which really substitutes intermediaries with blockchain-based smart contracts, right? So there are no banks needed, no brokers needed, no payment processors needed, or other institutions to facilitate the exchange and flow of capital. Compared to how financial transactions happen in legacy models that tend to be more vague and not transparent, as they run through intermediaries, right, who offer a very limited information and data of the activities executed. DEXs really create a system which provides complete transparency when it comes to understanding the movement of capital and the infrastructure which facilitates these transactions. Another thing that I want to mention is that DEXs really reduce counterparty risk because the user funds do not go through a third party's crypto wallet during trading, right? It's advantageous. DEXs allow users to maintain full custody of their funds through their self-hosted wallets during trading. Another important thing to add is that DEXs usually typically require a participant to pay two types of fees. One of them will be the network fees, and then another would be the trading fees. So network fee refers to the gas costs, right, of the on-chain transaction, while trading fees traditionally are collected by the protocol liquidity providers or token holders, depending on the protocol and its design. The one thing that I want to add is that, so typically in DeFi ecosystem, we see order book and elastic AMM versions of decentralized exchanges. So an order book is like a real-time collection of open buy and sell orders in a market. It's a foundational pillar of what we call electronic exchanges. And order books really allow an exchange's internal system to match buy and sell orders. Fully on-chain order book DEXs have been kind of less common in DeFi, as they require like every interaction within the order book to be posted on the blockchain, which may be requiring like higher throughput than most current blockchains can handle. However, with scalability innovations such as layer 2 networks like optimistic rollups and ZK rollups, the launch of higher throughput and app-specific blockchains, on-chain order book chains have become more feasible and now do attract a considerable amount of trading activity. On the other hand, we have automated market makers, or AMMs. They are most widely used type of DEXs, and they really enable this instant liquidity, democratized access to liquidity provision, and also most of the cases permissionless market creation of any token. So AMM is essentially like a robot that is always willing to quote the price between the two or more assets. And then instead of an order book, an AMM utilizes liquidity pools, right, that users can swap their tokens against, where the price determined by an algorithm based on the proportion of tokens in the pool. Yeah, I would say we have AMM DEXs, and then we have order book DEXs, both available in the decentralized finance ecosystem.
Well, that's great to know, Mariam. So now moving on to Apex protocol. And so we would love to know what kind of initiatives are you taking at Apex protocol, and what is the need for such a protocol in the first place, and what kind of problems does this solve?
Sure, sounds great. So Apex is a decentralized exchange which supports perpetual swap market trading in a permissionless and secure way. It was first launched in the first quarter of 2022, so this year. We introduced Apex's Elastic AMM, where trading pairs are set up with a single asset provision and orders are automatically executed based on smart contracts. So with the EAMM, Apex protocol has succeeded in a couple of things, improving interoperability and really reducing impermanent loss as a result of capital efficiency with on-chain derivatives trades. Also upholding this fully permissionless platform with no need for KYC restrictions or intermediaries in trades, and really allowing users to freely trade as well as create pools and markets with any underlying assets. And also maximizing security provisions when users maintain control of their private keys, and also introducing the PCV model, so-called protocol controlled value, which is an alternative to total value locked module. This really ensures that locked assets in smart contracts are owned by the protocol, and it guarantees that we have this sustained liquidity of perpetual contract trades made. Currently, we are launching, we're in the process of launching Apex Pro, which is an upgrade on the Apex protocol and aims to establish this Web3 social trading platform, first leveraging on the rollout of a new order book feature that will coexist with our EAMM offering. So just kind of give you like a run through of what order book version will bring to the Apex users. It will be this like flagship cross-margined perpetual swap trading platform. And it will really help to enhance capital efficiency for users who intend to invest or trade with fewer funds, but are still looking for high liquidity provisions. We look forward to increase flexibility in orders with advanced charting functions, plus more visible asks and bids that will help users to take more informed trading actions. Also accelerate the growth of the Apex community, as the order book interface really bridges the gap between users who are used to utilizing order books for trades, and also the same users who are interested, right, to explore this new realm of trading opportunities, which is offered by the world of DeFi. We are also looking forward to provide more high trading performance with enhanced market exposure through leverage and other the state-of-the-art trading features. And finally, and I think also like super importantly, multi-chain support, which will the protocol will be able to support multi-chain deposits and withdrawals for EVM compatible chains. So also just want to give you a bit of information about our roadmap, what our roadmap looks like. So I would say, like, for our future plans, we really intend to chart the course for decentralization. That will be definitely something important in order to match the needs of our individual users. So we really are focusing on building the ecosystem to kickstart this new era of Web3 social trading on Apex Pro. So over the coming months, we will launch greater feature and service add-ons so users can be part of this extensive social ecosystem, which is Web3 social trading platform. So we will be rolling out the DIDs, which are digital identities, so the users can get access to a customizable and personal trading dashboards. And we will have some tokens and perks within the ecosystem. So like NFTs and in-game tokens will be made available to users who participate on Apex. And eventually, we will also have Apex DAO, or Decentralized Autonomous Organization. Apex is really working towards building a DEX infrastructure where ownership of the platform will eventually confer upon our users. So I would say our main objective is to create this, these tools and features for crypto derivative traders, and then really work towards building and fostering this community-led development, and establish the sustainable growth practices that can really support the protocol in perpetuity, while it will be governed by a DAO, or Decentralized Autonomous Organization. So yeah, thank you.
So with that, thank you for the talk today, Mariam. So just additionally, what kind of roadmap do you have in terms of geographical targeting? Like what countries are you targeting, or what kind of audience are you targeting with your protocol?
I would say, like, again, just like mentioned, DeFi is decentralized finance. Anyone is welcome to join, no matter their background. So whoever finds the product offerings interesting, and whoever finds that these product offerings really matches their needs, then they are welcome to join.
Sure. And with that, thank you very much, Mariam, for coming on the show today and telling us about Apex Protocol. It was great to interact with you.
Thank you so much, Pratik, for inviting me to be part of the show. Really enjoyed talking with you about DeFi and DEXs and also Apex. So yeah, thank you so much.